Welcome back to It Starts with Clarity, the podcast where real conversations happen at life's crossroads. I'm your host, Ellen Gibson, and today we're leaning into something that can feel exciting and terrifying all at once: allowing change. It's one thing to dream, to imagine, to map out the perfect version of your future. And I know you, just like me, you can get crystal clear about your goals, your desires, and exactly what you want life to look like. But here's the catch. At some point, for that dream to become reality, change is going to knock at the door. And when it does, we have two choices: open the door or keep it locked because we're scared of what's on the other side. Getting clarity is powerful. When you know what you want, you can set goals, create a plan, and start aligning your actions. But clarity is just the blueprint. Imagine building a house. The plans look amazing, the vision's exciting, but to build it, the land has to be cleared, old structures torn down, dirt moved, and a foundation poured. That process? That's change. It's the part that's messy. It's the part we sometimes avoid, but without it, the dream stays on paper. So, why do we resist? For most of us, resistance shows up in sneaky ways. It's the endless planning without taking action. It's overthinking every decision. It's delaying until the timing is better. Sometimes it's because we fear the unknown, or we worry about failing, or, here's a big one, we're afraid of succeeding because success means life will look different. I had a client once who was clear about wanting to grow her business. She had a solid plan, the resources, and even the opportunities right in front of her. But she hesitated. Why? Because growth meant she'd have to raise her prices, say no to some clients, and show up in bigger ways. Change wasn't just logistical, it was personal. Change isn't the enemy of your dream, it's the bridge to it. We often think clarity's the hard part, but clarity's just the map. Change is the journey. If you've ever driven somewhere you've never been, you know the first part of the trip can feel a little awkward. You're checking the GPS, you're unsure if you missed a turn, you might even have to take a detour. That doesn't mean you're off course. It means you're in motion. Allowing change means staying on the road even when it doesn't feel familiar. Resisting change is exhausting. Think of it like swimming upstream. You're putting in all this energy, but you're not making any progress. Allowing change doesn't mean you love every moment. It doesn't mean you never feel fear or uncertainty. It means you trust that the discomfort is part of the process. I like to think of it as opening a window. Change is like fresh air. It can feel a little chilly at first. It moves things around, but it refreshes everything. Here are 5 ways to start allowing change instead of fighting it. Number 1, notice where you feel resistance. Ask yourself, what part of this shift feels scary? What story am I telling myself about it? Number 2, reconnect with your why. Your vision is the anchor. When fear shows up, come back to your why, the why you wanted this change in the first place. Number 3, let go of perfection. Change is messy. You don't need to have it all figured out to take the next step. Number 4, take aligned action, even if it's small. Progress builds confidence. Action keeps resistance from taking over. Number 5, look for evidence that it's working. Notice the little shifts, the doors opening, the opportunities showing up. They are signs that change is moving you closer to your dream. A friend of mine decided to move across the country. She had dreamed for years about living near the ocean. She had the clarity, the plan, even the job all lined up. But when the moving truck pulled up, she froze. It wasn't the move she was resisting. It was the reality that her life was about to change. That meant new routines, new friends, and leaving behind the familiar. She told me later, I realized I wasn't resisting the dream. I was resisting the discomfort of transition. That's often what's really happening. It's not that we don't want the dream, it's that we don't want to feel uncomfortable while we grow into it. Allowing change starts in the mind. Here's a thought shift that helps. Instead of asking, how do I make this comfortable? Ask, how do I get comfortable being uncomfortable? That's where growth lives, in the space between what is and what's coming. Your dreams are waiting on the other side of change. The more you allow it, rather than resist it, the more space you create for your vision to become reality. So I'll leave you with this. Where are you holding on to the old because it feels safe? And what would it feel like to loosen your grip and allow change to carry you forward toward what you really want? Thanks for joining me today for episode 4 of It Starts with Clarity. If today's conversation resonated, please share it with someone who might need a reminder that change is not the enemy, it's the bridge. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss our next episode. If this episode spoke to you, I'd love to hear from you. You can leave a comment or connect with me at pivotpointme.com. It's where you'll find more tools, resources, and inspiration to navigate your own pivot points. If you're ready to take your clarity and action to the next level, I invite you to explore our Pivot Point Me virtual boot camps and virtual mastermind groups. These programs are designed to help you gain clarity, focus, and strategies while connecting with a supportive community on their own journey of transformation. Visit pivotpointme.com to learn more, reserve your spot, and take your next step toward the life you were meant to live.